So dear friends, I'm very happy to once again to come before you on this screen to speak about the Archdiocese, some news and some views, and also a little reflection. We are in the month of July, almost the middle of July, and the rains are bringing the temperature down, of course, but a little harm here and there. Most places also are experiencing a little inconvenience, some destructions also. In my last talk to you, I said let us pray very specially for these people for whom the rains have brought in a lot of misery. Now let me go to the Gospel of the day of Sunday. It's once again from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10. And it's a very special message, I would say. You know, the mind of Jesus is something special because Jesus can answer, or rather give solution to all our problems. Perhaps one of the problems is we do not know what should be our priority. What should be our priority? I got so many things to do. Should I do this first? Should I do that second? Should I leave it? Should I postpone it? These are the decisions of every day. And so the decision that we are called upon to do in this gospel is action better than contemplation? Is action better than contemplation? If I may ask you directly, are you Martha or are you Mary? These are the two important characters of this gospel. You know, Jesus goes to their house and they are so happy. And Martha suddenly rushes to the kitchen and she has to prepare this. She has to give Jesus these sweets, perhaps the tea, we do not know. And she is so much worried about what should Jesus be eating. And the other sister, Mary, sitting at the feet of Jesus, talking to him, smiling, perhaps exchanging notes, asking him questions, and both of them are immersed in a conversation. And Martha peeps from there and says, Jesus, can't you tell this sister of mine to please come and help me inside, how much I'm doing, how much I've been worrying about you. And Jesus says, Martha, Martha, there are so many things that you are worried about, but one thing is missing, and that part has been chosen by Mary. And so the question is, are you Martha, who is always working? Perhaps some even justify to say this work is worship. Work is worship. On the other hand, Mary, who is at the feet of Jesus. And what is Jesus' answer? Perhaps silently he gives the message to them. Both are important. We can't say I am praying all the time and I sit in the chapel, I am always praying, I am not worried about my family, I am not worried about anybody else. I know one lady, her family was struggling, the husband was sick, the children were not very much up to, and she said, no, I am going to Potta for a retreat. Surely Potta is important, retreat is important, but at the same time, work is also important. But then Jesus says, what's the priority? The priority, of course, is to be at the feet of Jesus, to surrender ourselves to Him, to ask Him to be part of our life, and therefore to bring Jesus into our life, to pray to Him, contemplate on the divine mysteries is surely the first priority. And hand in hand goes also the action, our work, our problems, our difficulties, our trying to help each other. Both are important, and therefore that's the message of today. My dear friends, let me go to a big day that is coming to us, July 24th. That's called the day of the Holy Father Pope Francis calls it the day of the grandparents and elderly citizens. Perhaps our Holy Father is very thoughtful and very concerned, because old age, we don't consider it as a blessing anymore. For the old people, it's a lonely time. It's a time of rejection. We call it a culture of rejection, because we are in a culture, we are in a time of what's called use and throw. What is useful for me, I take it. What is not useful, I just throw it away. And sometimes in this attitude, the old people are thrown away, are kept aside. They are kept away from the family. Sometimes it's a miserable time for them. But the Holy Father has a thought and concern for them. He says it's a time of blessing. It's a time of special graces for you. And don't think that it's a time of waste. That it's a time that perhaps you should regret about. And so there's a message on both the sides. First of all, for the children who are grown up, perhaps get married, and their grandchildren, they could be a source of, let us say, what's called down the memory lane. They have worked a lot. They are men with experience. They are each of them endowed with special qualities. And therefore, for us to recognize that the person with the silver hair is a silver person, or golden hair is a golden person for us in our life. And at the same time, on the side of the aged, for them also to think and say that this is our time, perhaps it's almost closing up, but then it should not be a time to say that everything is miserable. To be always smiling, to be always welcoming with good words. And surely you can't expect everything good, but then to bear it up and also to ask God's graces, to pray for the family, to pray for the family. I remember once when I visited one of the clergy homes of one of the dioceses, I had known a priest and I was visiting him. And the moment he saw me, he said, "Father, I feel so bad. I am wasted and I am a waste. I don't know, nothing I'm doing. I'm just wasting my time." Then I told him, "Father, perhaps this is the best time in your life to pray for the diocese, to pray for the bishop, to pray for the people. And there are so many thousands of parishioners that you have, perhaps you have memories of. Pray for each one of them." His face lit up. "Yes, I had not thought of that, and I shall surely do." And so the grandparents are a blessing, a special grace for the family, and the Holy Father has sent a special message this year for the grandparents and the elderly citizens. And the first line is from the book of Psalms 92. It says, "In old age, they will still bear fruit." So beautiful words. We think the young trees, the young sort of people also are fruitful. But then the Psalm says, even in your old age, you can bring out so many good fruits. And these fruits are so much not only attractive, but nourishing for all of us. So my dear grandparents, my dear elderly citizens, I wish you well as you come closer to the feast of St. Joachim and Anne on 24th, which is your day. And I request the members of the family to be especially careful, caregiving and loving to these our senior citizens. May I now just take you to another aspect. After I came from Rome, I knew in between when I was out, some of our priests have taken our new parishes, and I thought it good to visit them. But I would mention, not most surely, all of them are happy, all of them have taken up their responsibilities, but my visits to the peripheries and the villages is always something special for me. Yesterday morning I had gone to Silvapura. It's one of the most beautiful parishes, the parish dedicated to Sacred Heart. Father Vincent is there as the new parish priest and surely managing very well. And the church is located in a lot of greenery. Yesterday I had the good fortune to go to the parish of Solur and also Turuvikere. In Solur we have the new priest, Father Chaurappa, and in Turuvikere we have the priest, Father Gladson. And once again, these periphery parishes are something, there are not many people. But the way our priests are interacting not only with Christians but also with the others and spending their time in prayer reflection. Many of them are also studying, doing some spiritual and the other studies. And so I would say it's a good time for them, and it's a good time for me also to visit them. There are the periphery parishes of our diocese, I would say, are always a joy. They are far away. The priests also have to take a lot of time to come to the city. At the same time, perhaps they don't have all the conveniences and comforts of the city, but God is there. They are happy. They have sacrificed. They are experienced. At the same time, they're ready to give of their best time and energy to the people who are there. And let us pray very specially for the priests who are in our mission stations, the new priest of our diocese who have gone to North India and North Karnataka in order to be in the missions, and also those of our priests in the missions, in the suburbs, in the peripheries. Let us pray for them very specially. I take you now to the Parish Pastoral Council and Parish Finance Committee that are formed, and they had a beautiful seminar in St. Peter's Seminary last Sunday. I was told about 250 members from the city parishes attended, and the resource persons were so happy that they are ready to even multiply these seminars for the people in different areas, especially in KGF, in the mission parishes of Chikballapur, etc., and perhaps once again in St. Peter's also. I was told that a lot of questions, a lot of clarifications were sought, and the fathers were specially pointedly told the members of their objective of the parish council, what is their role in the parish, and also perhaps what are their responsibilities. I wish well all the parish pastoral councils that have started functioning, and also the parish finance committees, which will help the parish priest to increase the resources and also to plan the expenditures. This is the work of the parish council members, and perhaps if in the past they were not so active, or perhaps not, their talents were not so much utilized, and our new set of priests are very much open to the suggestions, to the proposals of the lay people, especially in their parish councils and parish finance committees. And I would be very happy if some deanery gets together, and the dean along with the priests and the members of the deanery, the parish council members, parish finance committees, if they would like to have some more training or perhaps some more informations about the different aspects of the parish council in which they can be involved. I finally take you to what we call the questions and answers. There's a beautiful question here which speaks about the use of cell phones and tablets during the liturgical celebrations. I can see you smiling. Can we use the cell phones? The person says, sometimes in the choir, the members are all holding their cell phones and they are reading or they are singing from those phones. And perhaps I would not say that it is forbidden, but it is discouraged. The cell phones that are there, perhaps you have got some message there, but it would be nice to, because our hymns are not just orchestra pieces. They are also our rendering of our voices, of our feelings, of our sentiments to God, our heart singing to God. And therefore, it would be much better if it is formal, with the papers, with the books, with the hymn books, etc., that is done, so that the people themselves who watch you also say that they are not just doing a job, but they are singing from the heart. Remember, St. Augustine says, every time you sing, you pray twice. You pray twice. Perhaps if I may use the expression, if you are using the mobile to sing, you are not doing it twice, you are not doing it once, you are doing it half only. So therefore, this is a good advice that has been offered to us by this person. Secondly, for my brother priests, that can we use the tablet on the altar to read, to perhaps to this one? I don't think it is done. But there are one or two stray cases for which the question has come here. Can the priest use tablets on the altar to do the readings or to do the liturgical celebrations, once again the same answer, that a Mass is a sacred rite, a sacrifice which we offer, and we are in the presence of God. So therefore, the tablet is good, but it would be much better to use the liturgical books, which have decorum, which are so good, they are bound well. And when we hold them, we know that like the prophets, we proclaim the word. We not just read it, we are proclaiming the word to the others. And therefore, our use of the media, the gadgets, is always necessary in some ways, perhaps required in some other places. But then, as a normal practice, it is much better to use the books, liturgical books, the hymn books for us. We have got a beautiful book that is brought out by our Communications Commission, the use of visual display systems in the sacred liturgy. It is just brought out. If there's anyone wanting it, perhaps you can ask Father Cyril to send it to you. And in this book, the Communication Media Commission has beautifully said that the screens, what we call the gadgets and the computers, etc., are subsidiary to the role of the liturgy. In the liturgy, most important are the persons, not the gadgets. And therefore, even if there is what we call the screen there, the media screen there behind, in front, which has got certain words that are displayed, certain pictures that are displayed, how to do it? There must be moderation, because the focus is on the altar, the focus is on the Blessed Sacrament, and these things, perhaps when there are common prayers, which perhaps some people may not remember, when we say the I believe, when we say the Gloria, perhaps some hymns in some churches can be put up. It's a subsidiary help and support for us. That is not the main. We have not come to see a film. We have not come to perhaps to see that everyone is watching the screen there. There's a non-Christian person who came for one of our celebrations, and he was a little disturbed to say that, Father, I knew that your churches, people come to pray. People come to worship God. But in this particular church, when I went, every attention was focused on the screens, as if they were watching a film. They were not even more wanting to sort of participate in the devotional activity that you are doing. I could understand what he meant. And therefore, that's the message for us also, that the media, the gadgets, the online, the screens, they are important, but not absolute. They are only a relative help and support for us, and they should be used in that manner. My dear friends, I wish you well. I wish God's blessing on you on this weekend and the week that follows. God bless you.
My dear friends, please do share your feedback, your impressions, and your experience, or send a message to the email address as you find on the screen, archdblr@gmail.com. And you also have the phone number, the mobile number, wherein you can send your message or WhatsApp on this number. Archbishop is ready and waiting to answer your questions. If you have any question, any doubt, any uncertainty, or there's no clarity upon something, you can ask those questions, and with the discretion that the Archbishop will surely answer these questions in the weekly feature Shepherd's Voice. Thank you, and we look forward to the next episodes.